Good evening. We will first start by asking you to please stand for the national anthem, which will be performed by Alexis Weil, class of 2018, student from Hampton Roads Academy, and the presentation of colors by the Newport News Police Department Honor Guard.
Honor Guard, who?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated. Good evening, everyone. I'm Lieutenant Brandon Cresswell, and I welcome you to the Newport News Police Department's 16th Basic Law Enforcement Academy graduation. Welcome distinguished visitors, recruit family members, friends, police personnel, and recruiting staff. I would also like to introduce those seated on stage to my right: Chief Richard Myers, Mayor Dr. McKinley Price, the Honorable Monty Mason, City Manager Cindy Rolfe, the Honorable Judge Matthew Hoffman, Assistant Chief Joe Moore, Assistant Chief Stacy Kelly, Assistant Chief Mike Grinstead, and Chaplain Donald Reed. I would also like to recognize those in the audience: Ms. Amanda Roten, the Executive Director of the Newport News Police Foundation, Mr. Bob Orlando, also with the Newport News Police Foundation, Councilwoman Dr. Sandra Cherry, and Benjamin Billy, representative from Congressman Bobby Scott's office. Thank you all for coming. Now I'd like to bring to the podium Police Chaplain Donald Reed. Please come forward for the invocation.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Please pray with me. We thank you, God, for bringing everyone together this evening for this celebration of graduation for these law enforcement professionals who have answered your call to do justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly in your presence. God, you have taught us to pursue peace, righteousness, and justice, to make the world a better place. These graduates are tonight joining those who already wear the badge of the Newport News Police Department. Be their guide this day, every day, and all days. Give them strength, fortitude, determination, stamina, and compassion to do their job as they enforce the laws of our community with honor and dedication. You know, God, that their chosen profession isn't an easy one. These are particularly difficult days, but they will do it because of their desire for goodness and love and a belief that our community and our world still needs protectors. God, we ask that you see the light of hope and determination in each one, and know that they are our messengers of peace and justice in our neighborhoods. Every day when these officers and all officers of this great city put on their badges, we ask you to be with them. Be their unseen guest walking next to them and bring them safely back to those who love them. Whenever duty calls, walk closely by their side and instill in them great courage. Be their strength and guide. The citizens of Newport News expect our officers to be there for them at all times and in all situations. Be with them, God, and let them remain compassionate at the right time, unyielding when needed, and at all times give them strength and faith. Amen.
It is now my pleasure to introduce Newport News Police Chief Richard Myers.
Good evening. Welcome to everyone. Particular welcome this evening to the family and friends of our graduating class. Many of our VIPs and visitors have been announced already, but we do extend a special welcome to all our folks who join us on the stage. My new boss, the city manager, I think this is your first graduation as city manager. We're thrilled to have you here. Judge Hoffman, this isn't the first time you've sworn in a class since I've been here. It's great to see you back. The mayor doesn't like me going on and on whenever I introduce him, but I have to say it's really a rare thing to have a chief elected officer like our mayor who consistently comes each and every time to show his support for the men and women who wear the badge, and we really appreciate your continued support, Mayor. You'll hear me introduce our guest speaker in a moment. We have another state senator in the audience. Senator Mamie Locke is here. Thank you for joining us. And of course, City Council member Dr. Cherry, who also serves as one of our chaplains, very much part of our agency. And we thank Mr. Billy for being here representing Congressman Scott as well. To the family and friends, many of you got to meet with us, I think it was just last night at police headquarters, and we talked a little bit about the importance of supporting your loved one seated up on the stage there tonight. Day in and day out, it's vitally important that you support them and show them your ongoing not only support, but insight into what they go through each and every day. It will make a difference over the course of their career. Some thank yous, certainly. First, I want to open with a thank you to a couple of our special guests in the front row, Executive Director Amanda Roten and Police Foundation Board Member Bob Orlando. The event you're experiencing tonight is entirely due to the generosity of the Police Foundation through a generous gift from the Newport News shipyard to the foundation, and we're very much in gratitude, not just for tonight, but all throughout the year with support we get from the foundation, so thank you. I also want to thank this group of folks, in addition to the second row up here, this group of folks seated up front in the fancy dress uniforms. This represents the command staff of the department. And they come as a group to show our support as the senior leadership of the agency for our newest members of our family. We talked last night with the family members about, we use that term a lot, family, and we do view our agency as a family. Sometimes we're dysfunctional like a real family, and sometimes we have our spats, but when things get tough, we have each other's back. And this group provides the leadership and the vision and the guidance, especially to help our newest officers find their way. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here tonight. And the final group I want to thank is, and I'm going to ask them to stand, the folks in the back, the training staff who worked tirelessly for the last 6 months to mold this graduating class into the police officers they become tonight. When the assistant chiefs and I met this morning with this class and went over our expectations, we also heard from them about what their academy experience has been. And like we hear every single class, they feel like they are as prepared as any training staff can prepare new officers. They received excellent education and training, and there's a reason our department has a reputation for providing the best training in Virginia. And the reason is standing right there. Would you join me in thanking them? To the class, and remember, I talked to you about you don't have to be wooden figures, you can be human tonight. Every class we get a bad rap because they look like they're on drugs and can't move, you know, like we put the fear of God in them, but they're a great group. Congratulations to all of you. We're exceedingly proud of you. You've completed an outstanding training regimen, and as you've experienced, we've held you to the highest standards. And there's a reason for that. It's because your success in the career that you're joining depends on you applying those skills and lessons that you've learned. And we commend all of you for being on the stage tonight. It will take exceptional police officers to succeed in the world we police today and for the immediate future. And we know that you're going to be exceptional. Congratulations. Please reflect on the things you've been trained on, about the critical importance of integrity and ethics. Spend more time out of your car than in it. Directly engage with the people in the neighborhoods that you're assigned. Focus on the quality of life in those neighborhoods. And above all else, be humanitarians. As you help people solve problems, treat everyone with the respect and dignity you would want shown to your own family. We also want to urge the family and friends to stay very engaged in the life of your graduate. Your support and active participation will help keep them grounded, stable, and healthy. You being here tonight is a great first step. Again, thank you to all our distinguished visitors and friends and family, and congratulations again to our newest police officers. And trust me, we need you out on the street. We're delighted to have you. At this time, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker. And I warned him a little ahead of time not to put any more pressure on him, but in the last year or so, listen to a couple of the graduation speakers we've had. We had General McMaster, who is now the President's National Security Advisor. At the time, he was working at Fort Eustis here in Newport News. And also last year, we had U.S. Attorney Dana Bente, who for a time was the Acting Attorney General of the United States. So again, not to put any pressure, but DC may be in your future. Our speaker tonight is Monty Mason, who serves as Senator for Virginia's 1st District, which includes parts of James City County, York County, the cities of Hampton, Suffolk, and Newport News, and all of the city of Williamsburg. Senator Mason was twice elected to the House of Delegates in the 93rd District in 2013 and 2015 before winning the race for state senate in a special election in November of 2016 to fill the seat vacated by the untimely death of our good friend, Senator John Miller. Senator Mason was deeply engaged in community service before he took office through volunteering and supporting his community for nearly 2 decades. He's worked to help Child Development Resources of Williamsburg, an organization that provides resources to pre-kindergarten kids. He's a strong supporter of the College of William and Mary and serves on the university's Challenge One Strategic Planning Committee and was formerly chairman of William and Mary's Athletic Educational Foundation. In 2002, William and Mary awarded him the Young Alumni Service Award. Of course, that was 15 years ago. You probably wouldn't qualify today. Senator Mason also serves on the Greater Williamsburg Chamber and Tourism Alliance Board, the statewide advisory board for the Sorensen Institute of Political Leadership, the executive board of Smart Beginnings Virginia Peninsula, the board of directors for the Triangle Arts and Culture League, and the advisory board of Literacy for Life. He sponsors an annual College Creek cleanup to remove debris and trash from a portion of the creek. And you'll have to tell us when the next one is. If we've got an academy class going, we'll send them over to help you out. Senator Mason's career in business spans more than 25 years and includes working in the real estate and financial sectors, as well as more than a decade with Visa in fraud and risk management. He's a 1989 graduate of William and Mary, where he earned a bachelor's in government. He lives in Williamsburg with his wife Pamela, who works at the College of William and Mary, and they have 2 daughters, Taylor Ann and Holly. Senator, it's our honor to have you here tonight addressing our graduating class. Please join me in welcoming Senator Monty Mason.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you, Chief Myers. I assure you that I spend a lot of time saying to people, Richmond. I work in Richmond, not Washington. So you probably won't see me continuing the trend there. Hey, thank you all for having me here tonight, and congratulations to the graduates of the Academy. Thank you for your commitment to serve in one of the most noble professions in the country and in the world. I've been very impressed with the professionalism that I've experienced with the men and women of the Newport News Police Force, and I look forward to meeting and working with all of you. You know, it's an interesting task when you're asked to share a few thoughts with people in places where you're an absolute outsider. What I think I know about your training, your job, your approach to the profession are only formed by my impressions of the occupation. Let's start with that word, occupation. Yes, it's a job, but wearing the uniform and carrying a badge goes so much further than that, doesn't it? Of course, you do it to get paid, support yourself, support your family, but there seems to be a much higher calling associated with your decision to be a police officer. As in any job, there'll be parts that are great, and parts that are not so great, right? Parts that you enjoy and parts that you don't particularly like at all. But the overall mission and effort is so very important to our society and our community. Certainly you all know that Chief Myers became the interim chief in Sanford, Florida for 11 months after the Trayvon Martin situation. He was the 5th chief in 2 years in that department with an impending trial and a national spotlight on the city. So while he may have needed a job, getting paid had to be way down the list of reasons to step into that role. That was definitely a higher calling. A role that he knew needed to be filled with a steady hand and strong leadership, the characters that you will need to display in multiple situations and positions that you hold on the force throughout your career. As an outsider, I would also say that this is a challenging and difficult time to join the police force. But analyzing the climate of the day doesn't change the procedures and protocols that you've just learned and will continue to learn, the practical application of which on the job. How you approach that job has the opportunity to impact the perception of your role and how the force is perceived overall. As community leaders, we all have a role in addressing what is real and what is perceived about our city and the region. One example is that we've had several meetings led by Mayor McKinley Price, Delegate Marcia Price, and faith leaders regarding gun violence on the Virginia Peninsula. We've learned from your executive team that most scenarios involve people known to the victim, but when you see the morning news, that doesn't necessarily come across to the viewer. You have the unique role to protect and make people feel safe while carrying out your duties every day. You also have the chance to show our youth that you are friends and part of the team that make our community great. I was recently on a panel with a senior legislator, a seasoned veteran of the process that I respect a great deal. He said that the hard parts of the job came when the policy matters had a face to them, that decided whether to cut $1 million here, $750,000 there, moving money from one program to another was just work that had to be done in a $104 billion budget. But when that money is connected and attached to people, that would not be served because of the cut of a program, things became much more difficult. I believe that's the reason why we've seen movement on major issues in the world, like equality and a larger understanding of the needs we have in the mental health world. Why? Because it's no longer someone who is gay, but my doctor, my aunt, my real estate agent. It's no longer someone who's crazy, but my cousin, my professor, my neighbor's son who needs help. When we see the face of the person, we realize that it's someone we know and love. It's different and just more meaningful to us. I tell you this because you have the opportunity to be that face. Rather than seeing you as a cop first, how many places can you be Logan first? Now I understand in many places your training requires you to be Officer Perez, but there are a lot of opportunities, even if you have to be Officer Jeremy. You are the positive face of a community, breaking down old perceptions with your personal touch. If I ever introduce myself to someone as Senator Mason, and you hear it, please pop me upside the head with something that you have handy. Yes, I am a state senator every day of my life. Well, at least until the next election. And I am exceedingly proud of that responsibility. But I am Monty first, a son, a husband, a dad, a neighbor, a friend, Hopefully, all of these things, through my personal and professional experiences, make me a better elected representative. You bring a host of personal experiences to the job, and the more of them that shine through, the better for our community, our state, and our nation. We change things one situation at a time. We alter old perceptions over time with that steady hand I mentioned and a positive outlook. You will, and we all have, big issues to face and to solve, but they're great opportunities for you to make a difference that could save someone's life, in your case. And for all of time, that will have your face written all over. So once again, congratulations to each of you. Best wishes. And please let me know if there's ever anything that the office of the 1st Senate District of Virginia or I can do to help you along the way. Best wishes.
Senator Mason, if I could ask you to come back up here. If I could ask you to come back. On behalf of the Newport News Police Department, we'd like to give you this gift as a small token of our appreciation.
Awesome. Oh, very nice. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me.
Now we will have recruit Logan Goff, who is nominated by his peers, who will speak on behalf of his class.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here with us tonight. The class was kind enough to hand me the microphone since I'm not quite old enough for my gun yet. Thank you guys, I do appreciate that. Honestly, I am humbled to be able to speak on behalf of BLE 16 tonight. There is a lot of life experience and wisdom in this class, and it's an honor, as I only just stopped working for one city, Party City, to working for the city of Newport News, and that's about all I've done. We'd like to start tonight by thanking and recognizing all the law enforcement officers here, past and present, which have come before us. Your service and dedication has paved the way for us to follow. You have all worked a very hard profession at very hard times. Thank you to all the friends, family, and supporters here with us. The Academy is a very hard task to accomplish on your own. And you guys have sacrificed with us to help us make our dream come true. So thank you. Thank you for that. Before starting the Academy, I'd heard from multiple officers on the force how great the training staff here is and how they were some of the best in the state, if not the country. Having now experienced it, those officers were not exaggerating. Our class started with 13, and tonight we graduate with 12. But over the entire academy, we did not lose a single recruit to testing, practical applications, or firearms week when most classes will lose someone. The success of this class is due to the over 50 instructors we had. Each instructor who taught us took the extra step to help us get where we are tonight, whether it was great test reviews, answering every single question we could come up with, coming in on their days off at times just to make sure we got the best instruction. Each instructor truly cared about our success, and that was evident throughout. Thank you to all of the Academy's staff and instructors. Lieutenant Creswell, sir, you taught us the meaning of having each other's back, not only in the Academy as support, but in all other aspects of our lives. We are now part of a family, and that means we have to be able to rely on each other and have our teammates six. The Academy is very lucky to have the leadership you bring, and the recruits following us will benefit greatly from that. Thank you, sir. Sergeant Pennington, thank you for teaching us that sometimes in this profession, you have to do things you don't necessarily want to do, but your duty requires it of us. Maybe that duty is staying long after our shift ends to complete paperwork and get it right. Or maybe that duty requires us to dance with the Easter Bunny mascot from the Patrick Henry Mall for 2 hours for an Easter music video with the purpose of showing people that police are people too. I know I, for one, figured that policing would be a good fit for me because I cannot dance, and I didn't think that would be a required skill. I don't think I've ever danced more in my life than I have in my time in the Academy, so thank you, Sergeant Pennington. Thank you, Sergeant Bartels. From the first minute of the academy, you made an instant impression on all of us that we will carry the rest of our profession. You gave us a great sense of pride and professionalism in the job. You drilled into us the importance of always being ready and never being complacent. I don't believe any of us have had a donut since day one, nor do we have any plans to have them. And since day one, sir, thank you. I never forgot my hat again. NPD O'Barry, sir, you successfully made the entire class afraid to walk on grass, your grass. You made a promise to us on day one that you would have the best instructors for us, and you delivered. You made sure we had the best instructors for each block, bringing in the best on the department on a specific subject so that we got the best training. Your instruction during firearms, driving, and defensive tactics weeks will stick with us our entire career. As a recruit class, we think you might have smiled too much during Taser Day. But you told us that if we put in the effort, you would get us to graduation, and you did. You made sure each and every one of us had what we needed and more to be successful. Thank you, sir. For as long as you are directing these academies, the Newport News Police Departments will see the recruits they send you come out as great police officers. MPO Poe, sir, thank you for your devotion to the academy. You played a big part in getting all of us through Firearms Week, teaching us the ins and outs of becoming effective shooters. Arguably more importantly, you got us all turned around and going the right way when OC spray slammed our eyes shut. We might not have been able to see MPD O'Barry, but you got us very well, but you got us in the right position to get hit by him. Thank you. MPO Hudson, sir, you have a very tough job, both teaching recruits how to first shoot and then drive an emergency vehicle. I know it takes a lot of courage to get behind the wheel with those vehicles, especially with BLE 16, because it seemed like if it could be broken or wrecked, we were going to find a way to do that. Your time and effort did not go unnoticed, sir. Thank you. As a class, we did not lose a single person to Firearms Week, and that makes 2 classes in a row that have not lost anyone there. MPD 3, your direction has played a big part in that. Range Week was a lot of fun, and you helped guide us through it. Many of us had little or no experience with firearms, and you've given us a platform to continue and grow as marksmen. Thank you, sir. We would also like to thank you for spraying us with OC, as we are sure that was very hard for you to do. The Academy PT was a large part of our experience. Thank you, MPD Center, for showing us the correct way to have fun and introducing us to the Prowler sled. And thank you to Detective Walzak for making sure MPD Center didn't let us have too much fun. But seriously, thank you both for the long nights you put in with us, getting us in shape, building us both physically and preparing us mentally for what we may face on the streets. The department really is lucky to have you both running the Academy Fitness program, and it won't be long before your efforts make an impact on the street with strong, fit officers. The Academy is not something you can hope to accomplish as an individual. There are too many tests and exercises to do it by yourself. Everything was designed to force us to work together to be successful, and every day brought us closer as a group. Whether it was helping each other study for tests or to pass a scenario, we became very close during DT week, where we got very familiar with each other, and we got to show each other a little love. We definitely gained a healthy respect for electricity together. The last 5 months have been nothing short of challenging. We entered as a group of individuals hoping to become police officers. We're leaving as teammates ready to fit into something bigger than ourselves. We leave with a hunger to get out and make real change in our communities. We must remember to never change who we are because of the badge we now wear, and to never betray that badge or our oath. To always fight for justice, and that everyone goes home at the end of the night. Thank you all for coming. We are very excited to start serving you in our communities, and have a safe night. Thank you.
Master Police Detective and BLE Coordinator Wilbur O'Barry will present the James D. Fox Award.
Good evening. I
would like to take a moment to summarize the James D. Fox Award of Excellence and introduce the award recipient. James Fox began his career in law enforcement over 40 years ago while he was attending college. He was a dispatcher, police officer, and sergeant for the Virginia Commonwealth University Police Department. He was hired by Henrico County Police Department in 1973, where he rose through the ranks and was promoted to the rank of Assistant Chief in 1991. He retired from Henrico in February of 2004. During his tenure with Henrico, he earned a master's degree from Virginia Commonwealth University, attended the Police Executive Research Forum in Boston, and graduated from the National FBI Academy. Chief Fox began his tenure with the Newport News Police Department August 1st, 2004. As Chief of Police, he worked tirelessly to reduce crime and build the city of Newport News into a vibrant, growing community. We appreciate his leadership and dedication to the safety of our community and his tireless efforts into making the Newport News Police Department one of excellence. The James D. Fox Award for Excellence is appropriately presented to a graduate of the Newport News Police Department's Basic Law Enforcement Academy who displays academic performance, teamwork, leadership, passion, character, and commitment. The recruits and the Academy training staff selects the award recipient based on the recruit's overall performance in these areas during the entire 20-week-long Academy. It is my privilege to announce the recipient of the James D. Fox Award of Excellence to Matthew Alger.
It is now time for the Honorable Judge Matthew Hoffman, who will swear in the graduates.
They invited me back a second time, and as you heard, not a single cadet was lost to firearms training, so I'm going to personally take responsibility for that. It is truly an honor to be asked back again to swear in a new group of cadets who are going to be appearing in front of me day in and day out. It is especially important to me to be able to do this. I was a prosecutor here in Newport News 20 years ago, and many of the brass sitting down here and behind the cadets who trained them were patrol officers and coming right off the stage when I started. So I am honored to be invited and asked to do this again, and I do it with great pleasure. Cadets, please repeat after me. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all of the duties incumbent upon me as a probationary police officer for the city of Newport News, according to the best of my ability, so help me God. Congratulations.
Good evening. I am Sergeant Jessica Pennington, the Assistant Academy Director, and we're now going to move into the certificate and badge presentations. We do ask that you hold your applause until the last recruit's name is read to allow all the family members to hear their loved one's name. Matthew Alger. Yekaterina Shermetev. Kyle DeRowan. Jeffrey Faree. Logan Goff. Gary Green. Maxine Guillaume. Stephen McKinley. Say hi back to her. John Murray V. Marcos Perez. Jeremy Smith. Dean Wallace. And Jonathan Wiles. At this time, we'd like to ask the family and friends that are going to be pinning on badges to step over here to the right landing. Honor Guard, please escort the family members onto the stage for the pinning of the badge. You may now pin on the badges. Honor Guard, if you'll please escort the families back to their seats. Chief Myers will now administer the oath of honor.
Before I administer the oath of honor, I would ask everyone in attendance tonight to please join me in a moment of silence to honor the passing of one of our brother officers, Virginia State Police Special Agent Michael Walter, who was killed in the line of duty this last week and whose funeral I believe may be tomorrow. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. At this time, I invite all who have served in law enforcement, current, active, or retired, to please rise and join in taking the oath of honor. And please raise your right hand and repeat after me. On my honor, I will never betray my badge. My integrity, my character, or the public trust. I will always have the courage to hold myself and others accountable for our actions. I will always uphold the Constitution and the community I serve. So help me God. Thank you.
Donald Green, would you please come forward to deliver the benediction?
Let us pray. Father God, and now as we depart and go our separate ways, I pray for everyone here your safe return home tonight and always. Blessings to all those who daily connect, respect, protect, and serve. Almighty Father, help us to remember that freedom does not automatically perpetuate itself, that we have to work at it, nurture it, protect it, and pray for it. Freedom, like faith, needs our attention and our cooperation. Lord, be with us now to strengthen, support, and defend us. Bless the refreshments that have been prepared and those involved in its preparation. Bless the families and friends who have come to support our graduates and those fellow officers who welcome and embrace them. For those whom we honor this evening, may God bless each of you for the courage you have displayed in taking the solemn oath as sworn officers of the law and as members of Newport News' finest on this very evening, and for the extraordinary services you will provide and the sacrifices you will make on behalf of this, our beloved community, in the coming days. In the name of God, go in peace. Amen.
Could you please join me in a round of applause for the graduates of BLE 16? I'd like to thank you all for coming this evening. In support of our new officers, I invite you to a reception in the dining hall area located to the rear of the auditorium. Thank you.